The Upland Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Xperts, baby, UPX.
What's going on, fellow Uplanders, and welcome to episode 197 of the Upland Property Xperts Podcast.
Did you just watch our numbers? We had 25 people watching the intro, and as soon as we came on, it immediately dropped to 18.
Well, that's sad.
That feels bad. Oh, there we go. They're back.
They're back. But you went away. Where'd you go? Awesome. All right. Anyway, welcome to episode 197. I don't know where ThankMeLater went or what. Oh, there you are.
So, as I previously mentioned, I had this is my other laptop at the moment that I'm normally on, which you can't see, but it's blue screened. And I'm on a new one. Anyway, apparently if you touch the touchpad in a specific spot, it refreshes your web page. And shout out to StreamYard, because I was able to boot up a different computer and get on, and all my settings, everything are there. However, it's web-based, so when I refreshed, kicked me out. Anyway.
Oops. Yeah. Last week, for some reason, I do have the comments in YouTube this week. Last week, I had no YouTube comments. It was like so bizarre.
Weird.
Yeah, but shout out to More Cheese and the Goldsmith for filling in. It took two people to fill in for you last week, but
Cheesy was on?
Yeah, we had a great show. It was good. So definitely thank them for hanging out with us. A lot of stuff to cover. Two biggest things going on in Upland right now: the announcement of Totems and the changes to racing. It's not Gran Turismo, but you can now control your vehicle. And we have co-founder of Upland, Idan, to join us here in a couple minutes to talk about Totems. And then later on, we do have Dak, co-founder of the Upland Racing League, with two of the drivers from the second season of the Upland Racing League to talk about what the season looks like and how the changes are going to have impacted the first race and should impact the rest of the season. The podcast, the Upland Property Xperts Podcast, is the host of race number 8, the finale. So hopefully it's good by that time. I don't want a dud where somebody just ran away with the field and everybody's racing for like third place.
Yeah. No, it should be good.
And then welcome back from your birthday. So
a little bit older. That's why I got my shirt. In dog years, I'm dead.
Well, what I didn't show you before the show, it had this old lady bringing a birthday cake out to this old man. And then I did this.
Go get him, Turtle Man. Have a happy birthday.
And this old guy's just smiling and laughing with this cake with like 100 candles on it. So
that's awesome.
I had it all set up. And even though you went off your birthday stuff, which is well deserved, I'm like, I'm not wasting this moment. And I'll tell him about it the week later. So
no, it's awesome.
All right. I know Idan is short for time, so we won't, beat around the bush, and we'll get him.
I just like keeping him in the back room because we can see him. Like we could see him in the waiting room, like in the green room. It's power. It's like you could just stay there. We just keep him there and just do the rest of the show.
And then
let's bring on Dak. I kind of want to hear about these cars.
You want to hear about the cars?
Kind of Totems? No, I'm just kidding. I'm so excited for Totems. Let's go.
I was gonna say this is like
he said. Well, this is really only funny to Too Stupid and I because Idan just waved to the camera and walked away, which was awesome. All right,
we'll get him on here because I know you're super pumped about this.
I'm so excited.
I got questions too. So, with no further ado, here is Idan.
Hey,
we won Totems.
Ooh.
I apologize. My audio is fishy, so I'm gonna go with MacBook audio. So let's see that works. It doesn't work. You guys hear me?
We're getting a lot of echo. Are you watching the shows?
I'm going to try my AirPods again. All right, how is this?
Ooh, you sound like
Is
a
this
robot.
better?
Yeah, it's so weird.
You can always back out and come back in. Sometimes that does it when you just leave the whole
Okay.
StreamYard.
I want to know what's on that glass in the background. It's presumably it says Upland.
Okay.
Are those block explorers?
Yeah, that I was looking at that whole upland in the background of what was made from it.
Yeah, that looks super cool.
His robot Idan. All right, but yeah, and
So, well, why Idan's come back? Like, so if you haven't seen the new Totem landing, oh, well, there he is. All right, how about now?
Can you hear me now?
absolutely
Bingo.
way better.
That's
Yeah,
better.
way
All right.
better.
Sorry about that. All right. What's up?
It happens, not a problem. What is in the upland? What's that made? Is that made out of block explorers?
It is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
behind you on the
Yeah.
is it,
Yeah. That's like Upland spelled out with block explorers.
wait, are we on there? Are there director block explorers?
You know what? I've never bothered to actually look. But yeah, these are all director explorers. Yeah.
So you don't even know who's on your wall?
Yeah. It's. Let me see if I can find.
Take us around. We want to see this. I don't even care about totems anymore. I want to come sign your wall. If my block explorer is there, I want to come sign it.
All right.
No, we're talking totems.
I'll send you the image. We'll
Okay.
we'll post it on Twitter or something. Yeah.
All right, totems. So first of all, I just have to say, I'll be honest, I've been feeling a little down about Upland lately. We got out of Genesis week. I got my swag. I got my excitement. I was teased with the totems. I've been feeling a little down. I saw the little notification. Hey, everybody, click here. And I was like, okay. I was thoroughly impressed with that new landing page for the totems. It is really cool. I'm so excited to see like true, what I would consider gamification. Like this is really slick. There is gaming mechanics. There is lore. There is unique things. Like it's very involved, and I am really excited for this.
Thank
Like-
you. A shout out to our creative and marketing teams and for putting the stories together. And this was like we've been working on this for a while, right? And I think like you're seeing some kind of like new things here that we haven't seen before in Upland. But we're excited about this project. It's dear to our hearts for sure.
Yeah, really, really nice page. Yeah. All right. That's all. I just wanted to, because I was like, I wanted to make sure you do. Like, I was thoroughly like, I was expecting to be like, oh yeah, cool, we got totems, but I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah,
No,
I thought it was just going to be announced, just a typical announcement, the article about it. But then I clicked the landing page and you come right to this. I was impressed.
Cool. How cool is this? Like globe out of the watch like that. It's a cool moment.
Yeah. Now we just need to get Africa and Australia cities released, and then it'll be accurate.
We'll get there with time.
We'll get there. Now, the landing page says that there's 10 life forms. Is the last life form the prize from Genesis Week, the ultra rare one that has the best attributes? And
Actually, that is the 11th. So the llama totem is truly one of a kind, like in terms of the life form. So with the llama, we're going to have a total of 11 life forms represented in this project.
now there's going to be 5,555 totems. So really, it now is it 5,556 with the llama one, or is it 5,554 because of the llama one?
I want to give one caveat. So again, I am not like there's a team behind this project, and I am there's a limit to my knowledge. To the best of my understanding, the 5,555 is going to be inclusive of that one. But again, if I'm caught like giving you a wrong number or a stat, I do apologize.
I mean, the 555, because if there is 10 with 5 attributes each.
No. One important thing again, because there are different rarities, right? So some attributes are more common than others. Then it's not a straight whatever 10 to the power of whatever traits of combinations.
Oh yeah, because that would be way more.
Part, yeah. So only a part of all of the combination are presented in order to create these rarities. But there's not going to be anything above those 5,555, right? So this is like a kind of like a one-time type of a mint. Not to say that in the future there may not be activities, without saying too much, that will kind of like have like further things.
Gotcha.
Wait, what do you mean further things? So like
He means further
totems.
things.
So we're saying no more totems, but like something else might come with a similar.
Right. So there's not going to be like any. You're not going to be able to buy any more totems beyond that 5,000.
Okay, so then, and is this are totems the only thing that are going to generate life?
Well, I mean, again, when we're looking into the future where Upland is bursting with life, so life,
protem,
creates
protem.
Yeah, so we do not have any plans for anything else to create protem at this point.
So
okay, so these totems are the only thing that are ever going to produce protem in the metaverse of Upland. Is that what we're saying?
There is no plans for anything else. Right?
More or less. Okay.
This is the intermediate phase in between the point where there's no life and the point that there is life, governed by stems.
The genesis of life.
This is spot on steroids.
Getting ready for the genesis of life. We want to be really careful because again.
Yes. Technically, we just have lifeless totems that we're just going to sit in the jungle and rub until actual life comes out of them. Sounds like a lot of my college years.
So this is Spud's. Think of it as Spud on steroids.
Yeah, with a small distinction. Again, Spud was a pure simulation. At the end of it, everything got destroyed, making kind of like
true.
Spud, I don't want to say meaningless, but kind of like temporary in its nature, right? Protem is going to be exchanged to stem, and part of the reason is, again, we're going to test out some mechanisms here that are going to simulate life on steroids, rightfully said. But we do want that to matter. So that's why at the end, we want it to be exchangeable to stem.
Okay, so then that's what it is. So the totems make the protem. The protem is going to turn into stem after the trial period's over.
When we're ready to launch stem.
When you're ready to launch stem, the protem will get turned to stem. Will the totems then continue to produce life? Will they continue to produce stem?
That is highly dependent on the results of what we see with kind of like this simulation. So there are going to be cycles that are going to be activated, right? And the ability to continue and maintain these cycles will highly depend on kind of like the results, right? It may be continued with some tweaks based on the results. It may be continued as is. That is still not something that we can kind of like communicate and in kind of like so when we roll out the sale, there's going to be some information included, and that information will be the absolute minimum of what these totems can produce in terms of protem and stem. What happens after that highly depends on the results of the simulation.
Gotcha. Okay, that seems fair. Do you, in your mind, about how long do you expect the simulation to last?
So again, that highly. I don't know if you're familiar with the things that we've been mentioning over the past several months with the Species Foundation, right? So when we introduce life into Upland, we want to do it in a way that is potentially interoperable in the open metaverse and doesn't limit to our capacity as a team to create life forms themselves, like the standards for life.
Yeah.
So we want to make that progression in lockstep with the way the Species Foundation develops. And unfortunately, we don't have very high visibility right now about timelines for that, right? But we have assumptions. And those assumptions kind of like, we want to be at a point where we introduce life in Upland in 2024, during 2024. So that's our targets.
Okay.
being the Species Foundation being kind of like a separate entity than Upland, we cannot count on it. So we can only plan for it and kind of like make the progress, hopefully in lockstep as the Species Foundation develops as well. And if the Species Foundation doesn't, fruition into what we think it will be, then we would need to kind of like recalculate our course. But currently, that's our plan.
Okay. So, and I mean, the reason I asked that is because, like, if you were to say, yeah, it'll be like Spud, it'll be, a month or two, maybe 3, and then whatever, then I don't know how hard. You're telling me that this is going to be going on for probably 6 months to a year.
I cannot communicate.
Yeah, but like, you're not planning on it being a short-term like trial. You're expecting this to go for a while. So
it's not a couple of weeks.
It's worth investing. Like I'm verifying. Like I'm planning on going hard on these. Like, and if like that makes a difference to, and I think people that are buying these to play the game of like, I want to get as much product as possible. Like, is it going to be a long time? Then good. Then I'll go big. Or it's more just to strategy, like how you manage it.
If you look at it, there's 5 chapters to it, and very interested to follow the story. And they want to. I'll let him speak. I'm just theorizing here, so I'll let Idan speak. we brought.
Again, I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to reveal too much. Again, at the end of the day, this is an opportunity to participate in kind of like some of the lore, some of the history of Upland. And again, when you are able to decide whether or not you want to participate and own a totem, you're going to have the information that you need to make your decision. And like everybody can make their own decisions again with all the information that will be available when the sale comes.
Yep.
Now, is there some kind of story behind the 5,555, or is just a number you guys threw at a dartboard? Do you have any insight there for us?
No, again, like everything that we put out in kind of like in different levels of gamification layers, they have math models behind them. And that was the math model that we launched with. Again, the reason why is it 5,555 and not 5,554? Because it's a nicer number, right? It's kind of like this memeish number, right? But the ballpark number is that's what we were shooting for, right? So this seemed to us like the right amount of totems to put out there, combined with all the traits and the rarities, to create an interesting game, and one that can be on one point accessible for anybody in Upland who's interested in participating, but at the same time, not too many items to make them invaluable, right? So
now, one of the questions that I've already heard is, will the totems be tradable? Because I don't know if you're aware, but sometimes when Upland has a release of terminals or cars, you have people selling their spots because they're able to transfer the asset in one way, shape, or form. Will the totems be able to be tradable between players, or once you get a totem that's yours and you can't trade it somewhere?
Right. So totem in nature, there are map assets with some additional features, and the same way that that map assets are tradable, then totems will be tradable as well.
Oh, so cool. So will they be sellable at at Outdoor Decor Meta Ventures, or will there need to be a new?
Yeah, I mean, previously named Outdoor Decor, currently named Map Assets, but yeah.
Map Assets. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh wow, well that's super cool. So then that makes me feel a lot better, because again, hey, if you get a good one, DM me. I'm buying them. I'm already buying them. Get in line.
And that the Upland community is very critical of everything Upland posts in any sort of media, fashion, shape, or form. This image here, buying the UpX store, has it all in UpX. Is Totems going to be only in UpX, or is there going to be US dollar buy into it, or is it going to be strictly UpX purchase, or both?
I would suggest just to wait to the information, because again, like I'm happy to come here and talk about the mechanics and any questions, but kind of like jumping the gun with all the details where they are going to be present when we announce the sale. it's a bit of a.
I'm just covering. I'm just covering our side of it because they're like, why didn't you ask this or that? And so we throw it out there, and we know there's more details to come.
Wait, so what can you tell us then?
I mean, I'm following your guys' questions.
Oh, every question we can't talk about that. Can't speculate on that. Well, what can you tell us? Give us.
I've answered some questions. Come on.
No.
Yeah.
When can I put the totem on the back of my car and race it around? That's what I want to know.
Ooh, like your pickup truck?
Yeah, I want to put it in the back of my pickup truck.
That's far away. That's a long way.
Yeah. Now,
so it's 9 days until registration. Is that right?
But creating cards inspired by your totem, that's something you can definitely and race those.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how far between the releases do you envision it to be? Once again, it's speculative. It's just talking like, are we going to see every couple of weeks, every couple of months?
I mean, the release schedule is kind of like mostly associated with our ability to manufacture them. Again, these are map assets that needs to be manufactured. And that's predominantly the reason why we kind of like it's kind of like a developing story. So we're gonna start by manufacturing. Basically, we've taken all of the 5,555 totems and basically split them into kind of like a manufacturing process that does them like 2 life forms at a time. Right. So if you take basically the 10 life forms that are going to be in the totems, then so now we've released or basically
scroll back up
the dragonfly and the palm tree. So now all of the totems that are either dragonflies or palm trees across all the different traits are going to be manufactured. When those are done, then we're going to do the next 2 life forms, etc. And each 2 life forms correlate with a chapter.
Okay.
Chapters.
So scroll back up. So what you're saying is that there's 5, and so will it be split evenly 1,100 to the actual life forms?
I don't think like it's an actual even split, but it's more or less, right? Again.
Oh wait, where's the because so you're saying there's 5 chapters. Where are the totems at? That little you had like a thing with all the 5 totems or 10 totems there. So that's the 5 chapters then. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, sure, but now you're saying basically.
Why is there 6?
Sorry. So what you're looking at now are the totems that are a part of chapter 1. So these are either palm trees or dragonflies across different example traits, right? One of the traits. So if you can see here, you're going to probably be looking at 5 or 6 or whatever different styles of dragonflies and 6 different styles of trees.
I did not get that. I guess I should have because there's more than 10. I just kind of looked at it and assumed that those were the different.
The art style of the life form is one of the important traits, right? So a futuristic looking dragonfly looks different than the ancient one, which looks different than the fluid one, etc. Which this is one of the things that makes this project really, really unique, because there's a lot of uniqueness in between all of these totems that are put out there. So now you're thinking about more of the actual questions you want to ask, right?
I always love having you on the show, Idan, because you're just, I love it. I always love having you on and getting the chance to interview. Some of the community is asking about multi-accounting and things that could be put in place to deter the multi-accounts and people just trying to jump in line. Is there a KYC? You got to be KYC to apply for it because you do have...
for the sale, you mean?
Yes.
I mean, I think that there are probably enough items, and it probably that pertains to the questions, why did we go with 5,000 and more totems? Again, we wanted everybody that's interested to buy, to acquire it, to be able to do it. And I think the number is right that, the vast majority of players who are interested in owning one are going to be able to buy one. And again, we treat multi-accounting very seriously. We don't currently we don't disallow people who are not KYC from participating in sales, but we have ways to kind of like crank down and identify multi-accounting, and we are doing that. Is it 100% foolproof? No, but again, we are seeing and cranking up on that. I know, like, again, we do that on a daily basis, and we have people that do that, as part of their job, identify multi-accounting and trying to find it. So.
But if I crunch those numbers though, like, okay, so let's say on average there's 1,000 per release, right? So, or wait, hold on. There's 1,000. So there's about 500 dragonflies, about 500 palm trees.
Give or take. It's not like that.
Because I thought they were going to be on the cheaper end. Because again, like the idea of everybody being able to get one.
Well, so you have the passes, and you buy the passes, and the passes are going to be of different values, which will give you a higher chance of getting different rarities.
No, it's all going to be streamlined. So there's only going to be one pass.
Oh, only one pass? Okay.
Yeah, because how could you? I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So is the pass like? And I apologize if it was in there. Is it like a guarantee? So you're buying a totem, right? It's not a chance at a totem. It's you're buying a totem.
You're buying a totem.
And again, I mean, you guys obviously have crunched the numbers, but you feel like at that about 1,000 release that you will have a saturated market as far as like anybody who wants one can get one, but like it's not going to be like cars when they were first released and like everybody's like, I can't get one. They're impossible to get.
Sure, but when we released cars, we didn't have an inventory of 5,000 cars to release in the first time. I think that's part of the reason why.
That's
not
fair.
everybody. And again, I'm not saying necessarily
that is a significant difference in number. Like,
listen, guys, can there be a case where somebody wants a totem and they can get it? Yeah, potentially, plausibly. That's a plausible.
I'm just going to buy them all, Idan.
And that's why we have a secondary market, right? And that's fine. Listen, when we designed this project, that's what we felt was the right numbers. This is what we're going with. And again, I think we're going to have a cool little mini game and a cool little chapter in Upland's history unfolding in front of our eyes. So
this is super.
We got the technicalities out of the way and answered the questions that we received leading up to the show. And I know ThankMeLater's super excited for this. I'll let him run crazy with his gamification. So we weren't beating you up. We were just trying to ask all the questions that people have messaged us about once it was announced that you'd be on with us to talk about totems, because we're excited for it. ThankMeLater has been.
If I have time, I'm gonna jump in the cafe later on in San Francisco and take some other questions if people want to join in. But let's see. Let's go.
So you'll be after the show. After you're done here, you're going to jump into the San Francisco cafe to field questions from people.
Yeah, for sure. Hang up.
Good. You'll just cut our viewership in half, but that's okay. They'll catch the replay.
Okay, you know what?
No, I'm teasing. Jump in the cafe. Please jump in the cafe. Do it.
You just took away Idan going to the cafe from the audience.
Go, please. Sure. I beg you. I was teasing. Please go to the cafe, answer the questions, because that's super awesome that you're going to leave here, go do that. So please do that. Don't let me.
I'm going too. I'm going to be in the cafe. Bye.
That's fine. Go.
I'm going to go follow Idan.
No, yeah, definitely do that. So once he leaves here, he'll be in the San Francisco cafe answering questions about this stuff too. So hopefully you paid attention here so you don't ask the same questions that have been answered here. So ThankMeLater.
When are we going to get like the actual game? Okay, so now we got all the logistics on the totem, right? Yeah. So there's going to be cycles. So presumably knowing that it's pollinators and the plants that they pollinate, presumably. So it'll go like cycle between them.
Sure. I want to make sure, the life forms here are metaphoric. Again, each one represents a trait. And by the way, there's a wiki published, so you can go and read it if you haven't. So there's a link from the blog post.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, so you can kind of little bit see about what are the traits, what do they mean, how do they kind of relate to the requirements of nurturing this totem and potentially making totem returns with it. And then the metaphor is that once the cycle is activated, it basically, you can then activate your totem by having your first, input of protem into it. And that triggers the entire cycle, during which basically you need to optimize your protem spend and your harvesting in order to get to those returns. So
Do you have like
it's a Tamaguchi of sorts, right?
What did I miss it? Was there gameplay pictures or anything anywhere that I missed? Do you have some gameplay?
Again, when we say gameplay, the gameplay is about your spend and your harvest, and you have some indications along the way that tell you kind of like how you're doing in terms of like the optimal return. And yes, we're going to absolutely publish all the guides and everything once the first cycle is activated.
Yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. So again, a resource management game is right in my wheelhouse. I have so many life forms on my phones that I'm trying to keep alive at any given moment. I can add a couple more. So,
and what's going to end up happening is people are going to break out their spreadsheets. They're going to set alarms because they have to wake up in the middle of the night to make sure that they're properly doing the right thing with their totem. You're going to make some sleep deprived people.
Oh yeah.
And again, this is about, if you want to optimize to the max, to the last, fraction of a protem, then maybe that's what's going to need to happen. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to maximize your protem to the best that you can do, so you can get the most stem once that becomes available in game, so you can build your life, be it, plants, trees, bushes, or having a pet, whatever. Absolutely. This is a great opportunity for everybody that's in Upland right now to take advantage of it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a fair point though, especially given, this isn't, I guess I'm saying this more to myself, that it's going to be on a longer timeline. So maybe for the average player, you don't need to go that insane with it, because it's going to be over a long time period. It's not like treasure hunting. Like, those guys are insane.
Yes, usually this is not going to be a zero-sum game, right? Like, again, depending also, like one of the traits, for example, is stamina. Stamina means what happens when you miss, right, a protem input, right? So again, there are different behaviors of what happens and how that's being handled. But again, it doesn't mean that, oh my God, I missed one protem input, everything's gone, right? That's not the way it's going to work, right? It's literally about optimizing, right, your returns. Like, what do you need to do in order to make the most returns out of it?
So presumably you put in protem, there's like which is like fuel, and then it produces something. And so you have a fuel tank, you have a deposit tank, you have the burn rate, you have
the behavior, right? You have the behavior of the requirements, the behaviors of the output, the behaviors of the stamina, meaning what happens when you miss one or miss several, etc. And then your unique totem determines that your unique kind of like, let's say, manifest of how you need to nurture your totem. And that's what makes it cool, right? Because not two totems are alike, which is pretty cool.
I'm super. Now, what are you most excited about of the whole totem project?
Wow, I'm actually genuinely impressed and kind of like really, really enthusiastic about the visual aspect of what came out and the way that we were able to produce this amazing variance and kind of like, especially across the styles, which are kind of like part of the story, right? Like you look at the gamer style versus the ancient versus the painted versus the fluid, and just that the amazing job that the team did with producing this. I'm blown away. So that's very exciting for me. But to me, it's another chapter. Again, if you look at Upland's, by now it's a pretty long history, right? So we've been at it for 4 to 5 years, and think about like what Upland looked like before, let's say, there was property development and building, and what it looks like today, and what Spud and Spud Wars meant to it in getting to it. So if you think about totem and protem in this way, and you imagine, okay, wow, I can't wait to look at what Uplands look like when it's bursting with life, and this would have been the step that kind of like took us one step forward towards that future. So to me, it's always about the future and kind of like what's coming.
Well, I certainly hope that the Totem events and chapters are as exciting and lively as Spud Wars, which was
wow. You thought Upland was going to come unhinged at the seams.
It was the best. It was absolutely my favorite event that's ever been. Second favorite. You actually ran an event. It was robbers versus a museum one. That was the best. That was the coolest event that I think has been held. Personally.
Yeah, and you know what I think at the end of the day, like we are kind of like reminiscing on the times where Upland was a few thousand players, and we were able to actually launch these very intricate and very events that are appealing to a very specific set of audiences that could probably not be scaled to the amount of players that are running today. Really. But what's cool is that today we have the third-party tools. So like there's absolutely no reason why not everybody in the community who has either some technical chops or knows somebody with technical chops can actually bring those events back to life and run them in a community setting or kind of like in a more personalized setting, because the tools are there, right? And I think that's the opportunity for people to bring value into Upland now and create these. There's no reason why we can do even much better events given the tools that we have today.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. Sure. Now, people are wondering, with these totems, are you able to place them on the properties to show them off?
Yeah, these are map assets for every intended purpose. So these are map assets that have some extra utility to them.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great thing with third parties being able to recreate some of these events and some of these fun things. So I'm excited for that.
100%. By the way, there's no reason why developers can't extend totems to what they are and take them to their interpretation outside of Upland. So it's also doable. And by the way, we are also actively working on being able to include map items and other things like cars and carts and structure ornaments in escrow services. So you'll be able to actually, utilize them with third-party developers the same way you do with legits, etc.
Interesting question here by Unprofessional Puppet. He was the guy at Genesis Week with the puppet. He was wondering if you have the dragonfly or something, one of the other life things, will they move around on your lawn, or is it just kind of stationary right now as this rolls out?
Unfortunately, no. So again, we do not have the functionality of animated map assets. But again, like similar to how cars are inanimate on the first layer Upland app, similar to how they race around and move in racing app, there's no reason why these totems can be brought to life if somebody wants to do that with a third-party app. But the short answer is no. These are going to be stationary, similar to other map assets.
And since they are a map asset, they will be open to the bridge to ETH and open seas like the block explorers
in the future. So the infrastructure that allows us to, nearer in the future, be able to move map assets through escrow services, that's the same infrastructure that would allow us to move assets also through the bridge as well in the future.
Yeah, we were a lot of people are disappointed you didn't have the flannel from when you were rocking out at Genesis Week.
I didn't have what? Sorry?
The flannel. They were disappointed you didn't bring your flannel from the Genesis
wearing
Week.
It?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
It's a problem. That's not my work uniform.
Let's hear. What else do you have? Thank me later.
I don't know. I'm just excited. So it's the registration starts in like 10 days.
9 days.
9 days.
9 days and change.
And so and I'm assuming we'll get all the pricing and all that you said will be out presumably before that.
Yeah.
So we know how much is, because honestly, I didn't spend anything in Tokyo.
Okay.
I'm there, I'm waiting, but then I was like, totems. I've been actively saving for totems. So now I'm like,
I totally freaked out when Totems was announced today. I was like, oh no. I'm like, I just spent a lot of money in Tokyo.
Yeah, you think that's a coincidence? Yeah. They're like, hey, we're ready to launch Totems. You're like, you gotta wait a week. Why? Oh, Tokyo's coming out. We need to
There's some more cool things coming. So
And there's more. So he said UpX's coming before the Totems.
who said that?
No, we're putting words in your. I'm putting words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm reading between the lines. No, but before we let you go to the cafe, what is your biggest message about this project right now and going forward?
My biggest message?
Yeah, or thoughts. Your biggest thoughts.
Again, I think I'm probably repeating myself, but I'm excited for the next step towards the reality where life becomes a thing in Upland. And again, like as you're probably noticing, we're thinking hard about these things, right? We have had this. I remember the day back when we were probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 people in the company, where we came up with the chart that identified like the foundational tokens in Upland, and it had Apex, Spark, and Stem in it. And I think that's like circa probably either 2019 or early 2020 or something like that. And again, these things are, we are executing on things that have been thought through for years. And as we're thinking about them and kind of like putting them into action, it's just like it's mind-blowing to see how it's developing and evolving into a system where you are literally able to see or envision, one of the biggest and most elaborate, gaming and metaverse ecosystem and platforms that the world has ever seen. And the way that we're thinking about also like potential interoperability, and this is all about the future. And the future takes time, not just to envision and design, but also to execute. But I think we're slowly seeing kind of like more and more pieces of the puzzle being laid out and put together. And again, to me, that's kind of like one of the most fascinating things to experience and to be part of. That's and I'm just humbled that people are willing to participate and kind of like enjoy this reality. So really thanks for everybody who's kind of like being part of this amazing journey. So another step in it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is one of the monumental turning points in Upland of where it will be in the future. And it's been an amazing journey for myself and ThankMeLater over the years, doing the show each and every week, and then just seeing things start coming to life and coming to fruition.
Awesome. All right. And thanks for spreading the message again. This is, you guys are doing, phenomenal.
No.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you taking the time tonight. I know it was last minute. X1, I messaged X1. I'm like, hey, you just dropped this news. I'm like, is anybody from the team available? And I figured it would be, I didn't think it would be you or Dirk. And then all of a sudden he's like, Idan's going to jump on. I'm like, yes. I always enjoy talking with you.
Right.
And you're going to leave here. You're going to be in the San Francisco Cafe answering any questions there. So appreciate your time there. Thank you for taking time this evening, Idan.
Hey, don't forget that image. We want to see that Upland image.
Yeah, we want to see that
I'll
Upland
make sure
image.
X1, has it spread on Twitter. For sure.
And then hopefully we didn't make you mad enough at us that you won't let us interview you at Genesis Week next year.
All right, cool.
All right.
Have a great night. All right.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
I mean, let's go. You know what's interesting? So I think I got to be careful because like I don't want to speculate. I won't give away all my secrets.
No, don't give away your secrets because
Not
you
yet.
got it.
Let me
Not yet.
I'll play with it. You know me. I can't keep a secret. I have to share.
All right, so share.
Well, no, I mean I don't have anything yet. I just more like.
Hey,
Well,
you know what?
Okay, what I was thinking is like it's probably going to be like.
I was hiding your secret for you.
Oh my gosh.
I was hiding your secret.
Terrible.
Hiding your secret.
It'll be interesting to see the mechanics because you have to put some protum in, and it's like fuel, right? So the protum's like fuel. So it'll be interesting to see like when it starts, like as it grows. My mind is reeling on like how to best do this, because it might make sense to start if there's going to be more totem capacity than available protum, right? So think of it like, my guess is it's going to be like, you put in 5 protum and you get out 6 protum, and it takes a certain cycle, whatever, but you're going to have to put in something fuel to get out. Now, the question will be, then if I bought like 100 of these totems, well, I'm not going to have enough initial protum to power all of them. So I'm going to need like protum farmers. I'm going to need to outsource that. You're going to want to spread your totems out between a lot of people to build your protum reserve. But then you can't transfer protum.
No.
So then you're always going to be limited. What that means is that early, it's exponential.
I mean, the first cycle is really, if you get a totem in the first cycle, or you get a totem, the first cycle is really your trial and error, trying to figure it out. Everybody's going to try and figure out, what's the optimal strategy with your totem to produce the or the totem to produce the protum. It's going to be that it's going to take a cycle or two for people to really figure it out. Ooh. And I'll be intrigued to see if Upland changes it as people figure out the optimum strategy.
Yeah. Now, as soon as somebody go into the cafe and ask Idan if people can stake, that's a good question. Can people stake their protum on somebody else's totem? Because if you buy it and then you get like a starter protum amount, right? So my guess is one of the properties will tell you like how much initial protum it has. And so then if you trade that asset, does the protum stay with the totem?
No, because the totem makes the protum, so it doesn't have to stay with the totem. Because the protum is a product of the totem.
Protum exchange, go get it, Dad.
All right. A lot of exciting things to watch over the next coming days. Just about 10 days to go to the registration. Hopefully that means the sales the next day. I hope it's not like you register and then another 10 days later.
No. It seems like it'll be like a 24-hour. They're just letting everybody know ahead of time. Big countdown, so that way there's no miss. Yeah. What came first, protum or totem?
Chicken and the egg. But I'm highly impressed with everything they put behind this and the launch. Like, it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the assets look cool. The concept looks like fairly well thought out. We'll see how it actually gets executed in game. I do have, like, as excited as I am, and I am genuinely excited, I also have a lot of PTSD, I guess, from interfaces. So the game interfaces and asset management in general and resource management in general in Upland has been suboptimal in several pieces. So I'm hoping that's different.
Yeah, they don't stream the Upland Cafe. Your block explorer has to be in San Francisco, and you can go into the cafe and interact with your avatar. So if you're not in San Francisco, you probably won't get there in time to see Idan, and I don't have the address.
No one's in San Francisco, Idan. We're all in Tokyo, bro. Like
He left. He left.
I know, but if you ever,
All right.
Oh, your
left.
PE does not have to be there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You do need an avatar to be in the cafe.
I was going to
believe.
say that seems really limiting.
I haven't gone into the cafe yet.
Doesn't mean
because. Okay.
All right, cool. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's just like, isn't it just it's our boy. All it is one of those like worlds, right?
Yeah. It's their interface.
It's
in
nowhere,
Upland.
right? It's just
It's nowhere's interface in Upland. Yep. But
Yeah.
you don't go to nowhere. It's in San Francisco. There's an address. All right, really quickly. If you haven't registered, there are Block Explorer sales for Tokyo going on. 3 Block Explorers, pretty cool ones. I know you love your Block Explorers.
Wait, they're on sale?
You got to register now. They go on sale tomorrow. And if you're watching us past Friday the 25th, you're out of luck. Tokyo Thrifty Trader is going on, so competing for the prizes and
Dude, that Block
bragging
Explorer.
rights.
If you get the Thrifty Trader Block Explorer, hit me up. I want to buy it.
Yeah. Or you could just try to thrifty trade. They did announce the MetaVentures Variety Legit Shop. So all the other legits that haven't really had a shop on a secondary sales, you can sell them now secondary sales. You can go apply for your business.
What?
Yes. And Upland has made updates to their racing platform. And with that, we do have one of the co-founders of the Upland Racing League and 2 other racers from the URL. We'll bring them on now to talk about the 2nd season of the Upland Racing League, how the changes are impacting the first race and what they expect for the rest of the season. So we have Dak, the co-founder. We have TB125, who's a new racer to the series, and KO Ninja, who raced in the first series and got his butt kicked in the first race because he doesn't know his left from his right or how to use a boost or something. I don't know. That was a sad, sad time, my friend KO.
Dude, I was in like 2nd for most of the race, and then like the last 10 seconds, I got put to 4th. That was ridiculous.
4th? You finished like 10th.
Overall, I know. I screwed the whole thing up. I know.
I was in 2nd and I went to 4th, but I somehow finished 10th.
Overall, yeah.
That's the way we do the heats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Dak. Once again, welcome, and definitely want to have you on updating us on the Upland Racing League throughout the year. So this is session number 2 for the year. And just give everybody a little background about the Upland Racing League.
yeah, so March 2021, I started the server with a couple of folks that were interested in speculating on racing. Mind you, at that time, cars weren't even out. There was no announcement for cars, so we were talking completely out of our butt. And but there was enough information out there that we had a good sense that racing was going to be a thing, cars were going to be a thing. They had been talking about it for a while. And so we got together, and then lo and behold, June 2021 rolls around, Genesis Week, and the big announcement and releases. And ever since then, they've been doing iterative releases, right? More and ThankMeLater. I know you're very familiar with this whole lean kind of process and kind of agile delivery models and all that. But it's been nice to see them just consistently putting out updates and changes and advancements. So it hasn't been this big flashy thing like Totems, but it has been consistent delivery, which I really appreciate. And for our 2nd season, which is our Pro Series, so we had our Champions Cup that finished at Genesis Week. Now we have our Pro Series that's running with S1Es. Pretty much we have a different series running every quarter. Q3, once they come out, and by the way, I know people want to buy Totems, but I'm pretty sure stock cars are going to be coming out real soon. And I don't know what I'm going to do, stock cars or Totems. I'm excited about both. And I could tell you stock cars, I mean, if you look at an S1R and you look at the stats of an S1R and a stock car, the stock car is better. So
They
you
won't
can
be in the same league, so it doesn't matter.
they're not in the same league, right? And that's what I'm saying is that they're going to be priced more expensive than S1Rs.
I don't know. I don't know. Did they announce that?
No, they haven't. But if you look at the number of mints that they have that seem to be being produced in their factory in Rio, and you look at the stats of the car, it's a better car.
What's the mint numbers? Like how many?
I think it was 20 or something. I forgot to look.
There's 150 of those red ones, and then there's like right now they're producing like there's only 2 mints of each of the different numbers.
But what's the max? Max 150 times how many variations?
I think there's 5 variations right now.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But I don't know if that's a total.
That's 30x. That's 30x the SR1 production rate. There's no way they're going to be anywhere.
Oh, that's right. You have a whole bunch of S1Rs. You got to protect that. No, but anyway, having said that, you do have stock cars.
Hold on. This is a genuine question for any car people because I don't know the answer to this. What in the real world is the cost of, say, a actual stock car versus, say, a top of the line Lamborghini, which is, like let's say a $400,000 Lamborghini.
You got to compare it to a Bugatti.
Bugatti?
They're like 3.2 million.
Okay. So are you saying the S1R is like a Bugatti?
Now, these stock cars are being manufactured in the MV Motors factory in Brazil. They're going to be expensive.
I don't think they're going to be expensive. I think they're going to be cheap. I think they have to be cheap. I think we already have the expensive race cars.
No. These are your stock cars from Chevy. These are the high line. They paired with this stock car series in Brazil, so these are going to be more expensive than your S1s. Yes, absolutely.
Wait, is that confirmed by Upland, or are you speculating?
Speculating.
Then you're wrong.
Oh, gentleman's bet, sir.
I'll put a gentleman's bet on it right now.
Let's go. You heard it.
Are you insane? You think that they're going to price them anywhere close to the S1Rs at that number of mints? They're not selling through their normal cars.
I gotta find this because I do not believe. I don't believe that the mint numbers are going to be as crazy as you think.
Well, what's the max mint?
I gotta find it.
Just go look at it, and it'll tell you. It's metadata. What's the max mint? If the max mint is 150 and there's 5 colors, it won't come anywhere close. It'll be 30,000 UpX, like if that. Like, what are you talking about?
You know what? I don't even know why I am arguing with you, because if it's 30,000, then I'll be able to buy several, which I know that's not going to be the case.
I mean, at 150, they're only going to have 1,000 totems, and totems are supposed to be cheap, right? So, like, no, that's 30x the number of S1Rs.
But they're stock cars.
I don't care.
That is interesting. It is 150 max mint.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's.
How does that compare? Go to your other MV Motors and look at what has 150 mints per color. And then that should give you a much better idea. And then cut it in half.
Okay. So hold on. Because then they also have they have kind of a trim that seems to be a street trim. And then they have a trim that seems to be a racing trim. And that's only total mints of 2.
Okay. That's your that's your big daddy car.
Yeah, that's your big daddy car. Yeah, because the other ones, the red ones, KO, that you were talking about, they seem to be more of like a street mod.
Yeah, then there's like I think there's 4 or 5 different series where there's only 2 mints.
Yeah.
With like
so those 2 mints, money. Probably 200,000, 300,000 each. The other ones, cheapies.
So 300,000 for a 2-mint racing car?
No. Sorry. Nah, it'll probably be in the millions then. Sorry, I don't know. What
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So,
no. But I mean, it'll still be a queue. I mean, they'll either give them away. It'll be a contest. So they're either prizes, because that's the other thing is if they're that low, are the stats? How different are the stats on those versus the stock ones?
You know, Russell Envy had a post about it, and he had the breakdown of
I
the
saw
different.
that. There's no point to compare them. Let me tell you all right now. Do not bother comparing these stock cars to the S1Rs. They're not in the same league at all. Their stats don't
right,
matter.
they're better.
It doesn't. They're not playing the same game. They're not.
What do you mean? They're going to be racing. They're going to be racing. That's what people are going to buy them for.
They're
Is
not
for
gonna have
racing.
leagues against each other. Like when they do their.
So I was actually announcing that Q3 is going to be a Stock Car Pro Racing series. So people who have stock cars will be able to race in URL. So we have S1Es going right now, stock cars going Q3, Pro Karts going in Q1, and then back to S1Rs in Q2.
Love it. So even in URL, stock cars are a completely different thing.
And all we need now is a tub of Jell-O, buy more cheese. Genesis week, TML suite, tub of Jell-O. Right. It's good to go.
Let's go.
ThankMeLater versus Dak.
But I do want for charity. I'll do it for charity. But I do have to say that in racing, and you know, I definitely want KO and TV to talk about it. And we were talking about this during kind of like before the show went on. It's kind of funny that you ended up with these two because they actually represent real world brands that are sponsoring this season's race. You got the Ninjava and the Anthology Puzzles. And so they brought their real world brands into Upland to help sponsor their racing in Upland, which I thought was kind of cool. And then we do have KO Ninja, who was in our Champions Cup racing, and then TB, who's new. We have More Cheese, we have Uplando. I mean, we actually have quite a few rookies that started racing in this season, which has been kind of cool. More Cheese has some secret weapons she won't tell anyone about. So we'll wait and see what happens. Uplando fired his whole pit crew, so you know that was interesting. And but TB came in second.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was as much a surprise to me as it was to the rest of you, I think.
So, what? First off, TB, welcome to the shows. What got you into the Upland Racing League this time around?
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I was following it last time, but didn't have the luxury of owning an S1R back then. So I was like, oh, I really want to get in on this next time around. So amusing enough, I went out and bought an S1R, thinking I'll get involved in this next time around. And then DAC announced that they were going to make it more inclusive by bringing the S1E league in. So then I ended up going out and buying an S1E as well to make sure I could get in on it this time.
Well, that was going to answer my next question because ThankMeLater loaned out a lot of S1Rs for the first season. So I was going to say,
I got all those back.
Is that your car? Now, tell us a little about Anthology Puzzles. That is your real world brand that you're sponsoring through the Upland Racing League.
Yeah, sure. So it's a wooden jigsaw puzzle making company. So we make sort of old fashioned style wooden jigsaws. So rather than being your traditional shaped pieces, they're all like funky shaped pieces, and they have little laser cut sort of special pieces within them that represent the theme of the image. But our real niche is
I've seen those. Yeah. So wait. So you do like the ones that's like a butterfly and it's like a bunch of jungle animals or stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. But rather than being like cheap mass manufactured ones from other places, despite my accent and me being from England, I actually have been living in America for the last 6 years. So we produce them in our little factory up in North Dakota, of all places. So we've got a little team up there churning out these jigsaws, and we sell them both on a subscription and individually. But our key bit being that we allow artists to bring their own artwork in and get it put onto puzzles at really low cost to then buy for wholesale to resell themselves. So we pay royalties to the artists as well. So it gets everybody involved rather than just trying to make money for me.
So what do you think made you so successful in your first race?
Well, honestly, it took me a while to figure out sort of some of the controls. And the very first race, because we ran two, there was a heat and then the finals. And in the heat, I was lucky to make it through. I just sort of clawed it through at the last minute with a boost that I had left over. And I think the timing of boosts for me has been the key factor. I nearly messed up really bad in the final because I hit the boost and then ran into the back of somebody else's car, which immediately prevents you from going any faster. So one of my big sort of takeaways from it was just using the lane switching to make sure you can actually get past somebody else before hitting that boost, because that can be really costly.
But you still finished second. KO, what did you do with your boosts?
Yeah, all I've been has been thrown under the bus this whole episode. Jeez, please.
You choked me out in Vegas. I got to get back at you in some way.
No, so if you come out of a turn, Dak, maybe you can help me with this, because like if you come out of a turn, if I take the lanes wrong, like you come out of a turn really slow, and I tried to boost right there. Like if I took the turn wrong and I came out really slow and I tried to boost to get out of it, the boost almost didn't do anything for me at all. And then so I had to wait till I was on a straightaway at almost max speed. Then I hit the boost. Then it goes fast. So like twice during that heat, I take a turn. Maybe I didn't hit the lane changes right. I come out of that turn really slow. I press the boost. It does nothing. But then if I'm going down a straightaway at almost full speed, I hit the boost, and then it blasts me off. The boost hit. So I don't know if you have any insights on that, but that's what seemed to happen. I also went into that race with zero practice.
He's not making that mistake again.
So I've been practicing a little bit more and trying to figure out the timing and everything. So so the zero practice could have a slight factor. I don't know.
Yeah, and Mass Chef destroyed it. I mean, he beat the fastest other lap by 3 seconds.
Yeah, so I went and we did on our live stream today, this afternoon. I went to the Detroit racetrack that we're going to race on in a few weeks, and we did some practice laps on there, and Mass Chef posted his times.
Mm-hmm.
You
crushed them?
I was 18 seconds slower with the same car, S1E, after like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, good grief. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I gotta go practice some more.
Yeah, and and Matsuda was talking about in URL, they're a team, right? And so they actually have 2 drivers on the track, and so they're talking about team dynamics and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting, because now with the and what's funny is, you really think about it, you have like 2 mechanics that are worth it, right? Boosts and lane shifts. Braking, no one does braking, right? No one ever hits the brake. But boost and lane shifting, 2 very simple mechanics, have completely changed racing in Upland. And I think a lot of people have said has made it more exciting. The races have been more exciting because you have a lot more shifting in terms of the leads, because some people will boost early. You ever remember in Dom saying, "Oh, you went early, kid. You went early," right? That's kind of like what ends up happening.
Too soon.
Too soon. Boom. Right. Exactly. And so it has really been interesting. And the lanes, picking your lane going into a turn and coming out of a turn, as KO Ninja mentioned, is really important, because if you take the turn wrong, you actually slow down. And sometimes you can slow down so much, you pretty much stop.
Yep. So
you really have to be careful about your lane shifts, and getting caught up in traffic does slow you down. And so it really it's really kind of having vision on what's happening on the raceway, what's going on around you, and being able to shift at the right time and all that. So good luck with having good internet speed, having all that.
Yeah, it turns out learning your own computer seems to help quite a lot. Just knowing like the amount of time between making a button press and it actually inputting on the system seems to help.
Yeah, the difference from last season to this season, obviously, the S1R season just being all AI or automatic. You didn't have to do anything. It was like me and SC Kicker. Unfortunately wasn't able to join this race with his schedule, but we came back to it and we still sponsored because we just had a blast doing it, even when there was no controls whatsoever. So the fact that the controls were out this time, the races, the last race was so much more exciting. There was so much more passing and it kind of seemed like maybe midway through lap 2 of last season, you kind of just knew who was going to win what.
Well, you knew the top 6 were going to be going into the finals, and our number 1 top player did not win.
Well, that's also true. And this last race, man, it was like everywhere. People were getting past. I got past, literally went from 2nd to 4th. I missed the final heat in the last 5-6 seconds of the race. And that was because of the timing of the boosts and all that stuff. So definitely, I think this one was a lot more exciting already with the first race.
Yeah.
Yeah, got my adrenaline.
Yeah, I was screaming at my screen. I was like, no. Yep.
So for those that are out there and they're checking out racing and everything, it is really exciting. Pretty much, we have limited spots, right? And so they get booked. The drivers get booked for the whole season. We have 12 spots that were available, and it was 10,000 entry fee per race, 8 races, so 80,000 entry, right? And first place takes 100,000 home. Second place took 65,000 UPIX home. Third place was 30,000, 25, 20, 15, 10s, down to 5,000 for 11th and 12th place. And that can only be done because of our sponsors and UPIX Podcast. You're actually going to be the sponsor for the championship race at the end of the season. So either it's going to be like this massive blowout where Mass Chef is like 50 points ahead, or it's going to come down to like the last race and people have to, it's going to be a nail biter and people are going to be screaming at their computers. The other part too, what's interesting is there is someone who joined URL who actually started kind of like a betting server. And so he's now going to be doing betting on URL races for those that like to kind of try their lucks at kind of a little betting on the race.
Oh, very nice. Is that the sportsbook server?
Yeah.
So and that's per race, Dak, right? With that winnings?
Yes, that's per race.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that people knew that. Like that's 100,000 for the winner per race.
So Mass Chef is going to get rich.
Maybe.
I've got nothing to do with it.
So yeah, I mean that's insane. Think about that. Think about the value that it adds to an S1E. What's the mint price of an S1E?
I don't know what the mint price was, but TB, you sell cars. What are they going for now?
Oh, you just bought one. What'd you buy your S1E for?
Yeah, I bought mine in dollars. I paid $280 for it, I think, if I remember rightly.
Wow.
They're a little bit cheaper at the moment.
I got mine cheap for $189.
That's a good deal.
US. Yeah.
All right.
I had to panic buy mine in order to join the leagues.
But I think the prices went up.
Well, and I mean they would, because I mean, let's say it's $200. I mean, you win 2 or 3, something like this is why layer 2 is so important to layer 1 assets.
Yeah, 100%.
You now have a way that you can get a ton of money and value out of your asset.
Yeah. Mass Chef actually called it, he wants his Upland salary. So he's a race car driver and he's getting his Upland salary.
Now,
Get it.
here's the question: with the Meta Ventures now, with the speedways, is the Upland Racing League doing partnerships with some of these speedways that are opening up? What's going on there?
So right now, because of when we started the season, we didn't have anything that was a meta venture yet. But we do have, so like, for example, the Kingdom racetrack, that one is in there. The one we're racing in this week, coming up on September 8th, that's the Palmer Park Speedway. That was one of the first ones that was announced. And so we will be doing partnerships with them in the future. And this goes back to the whole concept of URL, which was community racing. So a lot of these tracks that are in URL and sanctioned by URL will be the ones that are used for racing going forward. And then the idea is that we'll be able to do kind of events with them. They'll be able to talk about how they are a sanctioned URL track and be able to do their own racing kind of promos with it, and we'll promote what they're doing and so forth. So there'll be a lot of opportunities for partnerships with sanctioned URL tracks. We are a lot more strict about what gets sanctioned versus Upland. With Upland, you only needed 4 properties. With us, you need 40% ownership of trackside properties, plus at least 10% development planning for the track itself. So it's a lot harder to get URL sanctioned.
Wow. All right. So, KO, what are you doing to improve yourself? So there's due to scheduling conflicts, the next race is not until September 8th. So, KO, you got about 2 weeks to improve. What are you doing?
I'm gonna keep practicing. I ran some tests today. I'm gonna get some training.
Do you hear the Rocky music in the background?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely reaching out for training. If I might be reaching out, or if you guys have any tips or tricks, I might be willing to fork out some upics for for some for some tips, man. It was so bad. I didn't know about the sports betting or the betting thing. So the odds on me got to be pretty decent right now, because I'm like.
Are you sandbagging? Let me know if you're pulling out all the stuff. Money.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Like, man, the odds on me gotta be pretty good right now.
Oh my God.
Make some money off me.
How much do you think I gotta pay to rig a race?
So
You'll be banned.
Wait, are there rules? Are there
Yeah.
like? Do you sign like?
Stop it, Pete Rose.
Like. Honestly, I'm from Cincinnati, rep. Like, obviously, I mean, we all know, A, ethically completely bad. B, it goes completely against the spirit of URL, like 1,000%. C, not a single one of the drivers would ever agree to it, obviously. But right now we're at a very small scale. What is URL going to do from a governance and control perspective to scale to prevent things like that? Because right now you're leading it, you're the commission. It's very, or is that like the plan is to stay for these things like that, like very controlled in that sense?
So I think one, Matt Chef, he's like my operations man, right? He does the operations and everything, and he actually incorporated the idea of promotion and relegation, right? So that the top 2 drivers of one series can move into the being drivers in another series. Obviously, the Champions Cup brings in the most upics, and so that has the biggest prize pools and so forth. So there are going to be kind of rules around that in terms of like, if drivers can't, if they don't compete and they fall behind, they get kicked out, right? So now, does that mean that we'll be able to prevent a driver from losing or throwing one race because someone said, hey, I got $1 million upics bet on this server and I want to make sure I win? Unless someone can provide proof of that, then, not much I can do about it, just like in real sports kind of elements, right? But if there is proof, then it goes against the ethical kind of conduct of the server, and they would be kicked out.
All right.
Now,
That's fair.
KO, we didn't give you a chance to plug the Ninjava brand. You know, we talked about the puzzles, so I do want to revert back to the brand that's backing you this season. So tell us a little more for the people that don't know about the Ninjava brand.
Yeah, so that's our coffee brand with Hyde Park Ninjas, and I just a quick I got the tinglies, when Idan was talking, because talking about ideas that came from 2019, 2020, and that are 3, 4, 5 years old, and they're now executing on those ideas that are coming to fruition now. Was super cool because some of the things that SC Kicker and I are thinking are, some are 3 months down the road, some are 6 months, some are 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, and it's just inspiring to see that. And Ninjava is a small piece of that, and which is going to be incorporated into different parts of our Hyde Park Ninjas game and things like that. So it's just a small piece of the puzzle. It's slow right now, and we're having a lot of fun making it, and it's great. It's great, custom coffee. It's amazing. It tastes absolutely great. We both love coffee, and we tried a couple different brews, and we picked our favorite one, and it's super nice. But so anyway, just quick shout out to the Upland team and Idan, and so that idea they had 3, 4, 5 years ago, there's always going to be haters and people that don't see the vision and things like that, but they're just sticking to their vision and their ideas and executing the best that they absolutely can, and that's inspiring for me. I'm inspired by Dak, creating his the URL and all the other things he's got going on before cars were even in the metaverse and in Upland and things like that. Gets locked out of the house. Hey, my wife is actually out of town, so I was able to get in the house no problem tonight. But no, just I don't know. So I got off track from Ninjava, which is great. You can go to hideparkninjas.com and get and order it there and get it delivered. But anyway, I was inspired tonight. I'm inspired by everybody on here and everybody, and so super cool stuff, and just cool to see people executing and sticking with their visions.
Yeah. Now TB12. Go ahead, Dak.
I just want to shout out Wolf Warner. He's here. He's another rookie driver. And I didn't realize it was his birthday on September 8th. So he's going to be racing on his birthday. I'm going to have to figure something special.
That's his birthday, or is he just calling his shot right now?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think he's calling his shot.
All right. I thought he said it was his birthday. Maybe not.
I think he's calling a shot. He's just saying September 8th is my day because that's the next rest. So he's like, bet that. So throw your money on Wolf Warner to win the race on September 8th. He's like Babe Ruth saying, I'm going that way. He's like, there you go. So
I do enjoy the trash talk in the server. It's definitely good.
It's only going to get worse.
I told them they were doing it in the driver channel. I'm like, you need to take this to the general channel because I think the community would love to hear you guys just talk your trash.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know who's good at trash talking is More Cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. More Cheese, I'm calling you out. I'm after you. I know, man.
So TB12, is it beginner's luck or you that good?
Well, I guess we'll find out on the next race, but I'm hoping it's a little combination of the two.
And for those that don't know, TB125 woke up early, like before 4 a.m. his time to join us tonight. So really appreciate that, and really appreciate you coming on the show today and making that sacrifice. I know how it is, sacrificing sleep to do things like this. So.
No, I appreciate you having me. I'll have to get some of that Ninjava coffee sent over. So I can,
Do you ship international, KO?
Well, where are you, TB?
What's that?
Where are you?
In the Middle East right now.
I'll send you some.
I'll be backstage side soon. It'll be fine.
Yeah, work that out backstage.
Yeah.
So we have. So after the next race isn't until September 8th. After that, is it a weekly race leading up to the championship?
Yeah, we had some scheduling difficulties, and so we gave ourselves some leeway. We've used it up right at the very beginning, so pretty much it's going to be from September 8th weekly for the next 7 weeks after that. So finishes October 20th, and that will be. So we'll have to do a special podcast episode October 19th, which would be Thursday.
Yes, we'll bring you on throughout the URL season to provide us updates and bring on different racers. So Wolf Warner, for as much trash as you're talking right now, definitely. No, always love you, Wolf. Always love you. Definitely want to get you on the show, and then having you talk about URL will be great. More cheese, we'll get her on because she's awesome too. So we'll get drivers on throughout the season and make it work. But good luck, TV. Good luck, KO. Dak. Once again, thank you so much for coordinating this. It's always fun, and we're excited to see how the changes in racing impacts this season versus last season.
So are we.
All right, hang out backstage. We'll talk to you guys after the show.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
All right, thank me later. KO still just kind of there. You go. And we're all up in people's business, so we'll zoom out. There you go. Working. We need like somebody behind the scenes clicking all the stuff for us so we can just talk and do our thing.
Yeah, isn't that what Dizzy's supposed to be doing? Wake up, Dizzy.
He doesn't have his squirrel pictures tonight, unfortunately.
I tell you what, with all that, like it might be fun. I might do like some practice race streams. Wow, that's mean. Oh wait, did he bring himself on?
No, I brought him on.
That's awkward.
I brought him on as he was getting a squirrel. I knew he was safe. It wasn't like he was topless or anything.
Is it weird? I think I have to look up the exact definition, but I think is Dizzy considered a zaddy? I think he's a zaddy. I'm gonna call you Zaddy Dizzy from now on.
What's a zaddy?
Oh, look up Zaddy.
Do I?
Yeah, Zaddy Dizzy. That's the new. You're looking good, man.
Zaddy Dizzy.
Zaddy Dizzy.
He's questioning it and he's Googling it now.
Yeah, I can see him feverishly typing.
He's like, what is that? No. Definitely for the people that we're looking to get into the supplemental league. We still have 5 spots open. The people that have sent me messages, I'm horrible at returning the messages. Yes, if we get 5 more people, we'll get the secondary league up and running. So definitely let me know there. Chipmunk, squirrel, whatever.
They don't have fluffy tails. That's the difference between a chipmunk and a squirrel is a big fluffy tail. Chipmunks have tiny little fluff ball tails.
Thank you, Theo. I don't know if I'll post that overall for comments, but yes. All right. Oh, yes. Oh, there you go.
There you
go. I'll thank you later. But definitely thank you, Don, for coming out. And we didn't mean to beat him up too much. Hopefully he lets us interview him again next year at Genesis Week. Always look forward to that. Glad to have you back.
Indeed, glad to be back.
What chain are you pulling out now?
Oh, I just found my llama chain.
Oh.
My desk is like littered with things.
Yeah. Glad to have you back on the show. Excited for Totems, the racing. Whoa. You know what? I had those and I never fulfilled my physical copy.
These are physical NFTs of blockchain hero cards.
I never obtained my physical copies and it expired for me to claim them. That was dumb. Very dumb of me. I had a couple of packs.
The Titan pack? Did you get a Titan pack?
I did, but I didn't get the physical copy.
Look at these.
I know.
Oh,
Like,
so
did you
good.
just get them or you just found them?
No, they're just like, I'm just like looking at miscellaneous things around my desk. I brought them to Genesis Week, and I have all my Genesis Week stuff here. I was going through my Genesis Week stuff.
There you go.
That explains it.
Yeah. And then thank the Upland Racing League for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate that. Sacrifices by TB125. Got more stuff going on. Tokyo collections come out. A lot of fun stuff going on. 9 days until Totems hit Upland. Anything else before we get out of here?
No.
All right. Everybody be safe. Have fun. We'll see you in the metaverse.
The Upix Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host too stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Xperts, baby, UPX.